Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer, where we take these massive, complex guides and turn them into direct insights you can actually use. Today, we're looking at the complete user guide for a system called Lunara.bot. And honestly, this is a fascinating one. We are exploring a zero configuration AI sales manager that is pretty much designed to completely rewrite how founders and small teams handle their outbound sales. So, right off the bat, here's the classic dilemma, right? How exactly do you scale your sales without hiring an entire department to do it? Because if you're a founder, a consultant, or maybe you're running a small agency, you know you need that constant flow of qualified meetings. But hiring an SDR to prospect, a BDR to do outreach, an account executive to qualify, I mean, that is just massive overhead. So, how do you actually drive those meetings without completely breaking the bank? Well, traditionally, you don't just hire people. You end up buying this absolute mountain of software. You usually need an enrichment tool like Apollo, a sequencer like SmartLead, a CRM like HubSpot, a scheduler like Calendly. It's a lot to juggle. The alternative we're looking at today is Lunara. It essentially replaces that whole fragmented, multi-tool headache and the personnel you'd normally need to run it with just a single tab. You're basically getting a virtual employee that handles the whole shebang, and you only pay for the exact hours it actually works. So, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet your new AI manager, then we'll define your target customer. After that, we'll look at how the system sources and scores leads, dive into the multi-channel outreach, and finally, wrap things up with your daily workflows. All right, Section 1. Let's meet your AI sales manager, Lunara.bot, and see exactly who this thing is built for. The source guide is actually really specific about the target user here. If you are a founder doing B2B sales yourself, this is meant to be your automated proxy. Or if you're a consultant who just needs, say, 3 to 10 qualified intro calls a week to really thrive, this fits perfectly. It's also built for small sales teams, under 20 reps, who want to multiply their output by 5 to 10 times, and agency owners needing white label automation. Now, quick caveat, this is strictly B2B. So actually, if you run a purely inbound consumer business, this isn't going to be the tool for you. Moving on to Section 2, defining your ideal customer. This is the absolute foundation because without this step, the AI basically has no direction. So the absolutely crucial point here is the ideal customer profile, or ICP. The manual literally calls this the single most important object in Lunara. This isn't just some basic tag you throw on a profile. It's the engine. It tells the system exactly who you want to talk to, their industry, their company size, geography, seniority, even down to the tech stack they use. Every single thing Lunara does, from who it hunts down to how it actually speaks to them, flows directly from this one definition. And getting this set up is surprisingly fast. You go through a 4-step onboarding wizard that takes maybe 4 to 6 minutes tops. You drop in your company details, your exact buyer persona, the top 3 pains your buyer feels in their own words, which is key, and your permitted channels and tone. But here's what's genuinely amazing: the AI's learning capability. You can literally just paste your best performing past cold email right into the setup. Lunara will study its rhythm, its length, your call to action pattern, and mimic your personal reference style perfectly. Okay, Section 3, sourcing and scoring leads. Let's look at the Leads Hub and see how this AI actually finds your people. What's really cool is that this system doesn't just sit there waiting for you to feed it. I mean, sure, you can upload a CSV or use a Chrome extension to add leads with one click from LinkedIn, but the real magic, that's the auto-discover feature. While you're off focusing on closing deals, Lunara is continuously hunting across 18 or more free open-source intelligence databases. We're talking places like LinkedIn, GitHub, Open Corporates, even SEC filings to find decision makers that match your ICP. And it does all of this without you lifting a single finger. But just finding a name isn't really enough, is it? For every single lead, Lunara autonomously runs them through a rigorous gauntlet of checks. First, it validates the email, so you absolutely don't hit spam traps. Then it resolves their identity and company details. It hunts for intent signals, like, hey, did they just post a job opening? It checks risk signals to make sure their domain isn't sanctioned or recently breached. And finally, it calculates and ranks the absolute best channel to reach them on. All of that massive data gathering feeds directly into what they call the composite hot score. If you visualize it, think of it kind of like a pie made of 3 pieces. You've got ICP fit, how closely they match your ideal buyer. Then intent, which is the likelihood they're actually ready to buy in the next 30 to 90 days based on their online signals. And lastly, reachability. Basically, how confident Lunara is that an email or message will actually land in front of them. Which brings us to the magic number, 75. Every single lead gets a score from 0 to 100 based on those 3 factors we just talked about. Anything scoring above a 75 is automatically labeled hot by the system. These leads instantly skip the line. They go straight to the top of your outreach queue. So the AI is dynamically prioritizing your absolute hottest prospects for you. Section 4, multi-channel outreach and, well, meeting Yuki. We've got our hot leads, so how do we actually get them talking? You see, Lunara is definitely not just a basic email sequencer. It connects to Google or Microsoft for email, LinkedIn via secure session cookie, WhatsApp, Instagram DMs, and even live voice calls using Twilio. And because it's an AI, it can autonomously switch channels. Think about that. If a hot prospect totally ignores your email, Lunara doesn't just blindly send another email into the void. It notices, it pivots, and it might automatically send a really polite follow-up on LinkedIn or WhatsApp instead. To put the sheer scale of this into perspective, let's look at what one single agent hour actually achieves. In 60 minutes of billing time, this virtual employee can run 60 to 90 full profile enrichments, or it can write and send 20 to 30 highly personalized emails, or, and this is wild, make 8 to 12 actual voice dials, or even manage 15 to 20 LinkedIn DMs. That is an incredibly dense, efficient output, stuff that would easily take a human hours, if not a whole day, to execute without making mistakes. Now, when we say voice dials, we are absolutely not talking about some clunky, robotic, pre-recorded message. We're talking about Yuki. Yuki is this 3D animated avatar that acts as Lunara's voice and face. She actually runs on Gemini Live, boasting a sub-300 millisecond latency. What that means is she can have real-time, completely fluid conversations over the phone with prospects. She speaks 32 different languages, and she dynamically adjusts her personality from super friendly to strictly direct based on whatever settings you gave her. And it gets better because you don't even have to go digging through endless menus to manage your day. You can literally just click the microphone icon in your dashboard bubble and say, "Hello, Yuki, what's on my calendar today?" Or, "Hey, show me leads who opened my last email twice but didn't reply." And she will answer you verbally and pull up the exact data you just asked for. It's like having a real assistant right there. All right, Section 5, daily and weekly workflows. Let's get into the practical application and look at a real day in the life of a founder using this platform. The user guide recommends a highly focused workflow. It's basically a 25-minute daily sprint. Minutes 1 through 3, you're checking notifications and personally replying to those hot prospects. The next 5 minutes, you're skimming the unified inbox to approve or edit AI drafts. By minute 8, you're reviewing new high-scoring leads in the Leads Hub. Then you spend 5 minutes prepping for the day's meetings using the prep briefs Lunara already wrote for you. Finally, you spend the last 5 minutes literally asking Yuki what the biggest risk to your pipeline is today, and you act on her advice. Boom! 25 minutes completely replaces an entire day of sales management. On top of that daily sprint, there is a super simple 1-hour weekly workflow, usually done on Mondays. You review an auto-generated strategy report that hits your inbox right at 7 a.m. You check your conversion funnel to see where prospects might be dropping off. Maybe you tweak your ICP slightly, check your time budget, and then use an AI-drafted case study to post a quick win on LinkedIn just to keep the momentum going. And honestly, that's it. That is your entire management burden for the week. And the way they do billing completely reinforces this whole efficiency model. Unlike traditional SaaS subscriptions where you're locked into these heavy annual contracts, monthly minimums, and paying for software while you literally sleep, Lunara bills purely by the agent hour. 1 second of work equals 1 second of billing. There are no contracts, and your hours roll over for 90 days. You are only paying for the exact moments the AI is actively hunting or talking for you. It's a real game changer. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. If a zero-configuration AI like Lunara.bot could manage your entire outbound pipeline, handling all the enrichment, the scoring, and the multi-channel outreach in just 25 minutes of your day, what would you build with the massive amount of time you get back? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer today, and keep learning.